Two names, two worlds, two stories that were never meant to collide. And yet here we are, staring at a connection so unsettling that once you notice it, you can't look away. Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew. Say it slowly. Let it sink in. Because what was buried for years is now clawing its way to the surface. And the timing is no accident. This didn't come from a gossip blog. This didn't come from internet whispers or anonymous posts. This came from a man who has spent years staring into the darkest corners of the royal family. A man who didn't chase rumors, he chased evidence. Andrew Lownie, a royal biographer who went where others wouldn't, asked questions others were too afraid to ask, and paid the price for it. Threats, pressure, attempts to silence him. And yet, he kept digging. Because what he uncovered wasn't just about Prince Andrew. It was about the people orbiting him, the networks, the social circles, the quiet overlaps that never make headlines. And right there, hiding in plain sight, was Meghan Markle. It begins quietly. Too quietly. September 2013, Toronto, Canada. Meghan Markle was filming Suits, living the life of a working actress, building her image brick by brick. Or at least that's what the public believed. Behind the scenes, something else was unfolding. Prince Andrew was in Toronto that same month. Not announced. Not publicized. And according to insiders, Meghan didn't just happen to be in the same city. She allegedly met him. No press photos, no official acknowledgement. Just proximity. 4 blocks. That's how close she was reportedly living to where Andrew stayed. 4 blocks isn't chance. It's convenience. It's accessibility. And the silence around that meeting is what makes it scream the loudest. No one talked about it. No one mentioned it until now. And Toronto wasn't the end of it. It was the opening chapter. New York tells a darker story. Meghan spent a lot of time there. Fashion events, social gatherings, private dinners, and she wasn't alone. Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice were there too. Same circles, same friends, same rooms, same faces appearing again and again in different photos, posted by different people from different angles. A hairstylist posts a photo with Meghan. Months later, Eugenie posts with the exact same person. Same year, same social overlap. That's not coincidence. That's a shared world. And then there's a name that keeps appearing like a shadow behind every connection. Marcus Anderson, Meghan's closest friend, her constant companion. Always there, always just out of frame. Paris, London, New York, he doesn't leave her side. But Marcus Anderson isn't just a friend. He's power. He's access. He's the global membership director of Soho House, one of the most exclusive, discreet, influence-heavy networks in the world. And Marcus wasn't new to royalty when Meghan entered the scene. He was already deeply connected to the Yorks. Eugenie, Beatrice, trusted, familiar, welcomed. He was the bridge, the connector, the man who made introductions look effortless and accidental. Soho House wasn't just a club. It was a gateway. A place where status met secrecy, where conversations weren't recorded, where relationships began quietly and stayed protected. And it all tied back to Ron Burkle, the billionaire owner, a man whose name appears far too often near other powerful figures who preferred to stay in the shadows. Private jets, that detail matters. Meghan allegedly flew on Burkle's private plane while Harry flew commercial. Let that sit for a moment. The actress on a billionaire's jet, Prince and economy. That imbalance tells a story on its own. Then comes Jamaica, March 2017. A wedding that exposed more lies than vows. Tom Inskip's wedding. Harry's longtime friend. A private event with very public consequences. Meghan was there, Eugenie was there, Fergie was there, and allegedly so was Prince Andrew. After Meghan married into the royal family, Fergie gave interviews, insisting she had never met Meghan before the wedding. Never once. She was emphatic. Clear? Certain, but photos don't lie. Images from that Jamaican wedding show Fergie and Eugenie together. And Meghan was in attendance. Same place, same time, same event. Which means Fergie didn't just meet Meghan before the royal wedding. She knew her. And she lied about it. Why lie? Why erase that moment? Why pretend a meeting never happened unless it mattered? And once again, the private jet appears. Meghan, allegedly flown in by Ron Burkle. Harry arriving separately. Patterns repeating themselves. All roads lead back to Soho House. Every overlap, every introduction, every coincidence. Marcus Anderson was at the center of it all. And his rise within Soho House wasn't normal, it was meteoric. So significant that the founder created an entire wine line named after him. Not for an employee, not for a manager, but for someone indispensable. And Marcus stayed by Meghan's side through everything. Engagement, marriage, fallout, exit, America. always present, always watching. And then comes the detail that shakes everything. Virginia Giuffre's lawyer wanted Meghan Markle deposed in Prince Andrew's case. That doesn't happen casually. Lawyers don't request depositions without reason, without relevance, without belief that the person knows something that matters, something that could change outcomes. Andrew Lownie points this out clearly. This wasn't random, this was intentional. What did Meghan know? What did she see? What conversations did she hear? What relationships was she close enough to observe? Even Meghan herself hinted at familiarity. During the Oprah interview, she mentioned Fergie teaching her how to curtsy before meeting the Queen. The tone wasn't distant. It wasn't polite. It was familiar, comfortable. Like someone speaking about a mentor, not a stranger. And former staff from Meghan's Toronto days reportedly described disturbing behavior behind closed doors. Stories that never reached daylight. Stories that remain buried for now. Then emails began leaking. Emails between Fergie and Ghislaine Maxwell. Proof that both Fergie and Andrew lied about the depth of their connection. Emails kept as insurance. Leaked slowly. Strategically. A reminder that this story isn't finished telling itself. Pressure inside the palace is cracking. William is done protecting Andrew. Parliament passes responsibility like a disease no one wants to touch. The public is furious. They want accountability. They want Andrew gone. And Andrew Lownie isn't finished either. 60 new pages. More names. More power players. More truths waiting to explode. And Meghan Markle remains right in the center of it all. Too many connections. Too many overlaps. Too many lies. This isn't coincidence anymore. This is a pattern. And the story is only getting started. Because once you start pulling at this thread, everything unravels faster than anyone expected. The royal family has spent years perfecting silence. Not answers. Silence. Because silence buys time, and time lets scandals fade. But this time, the silence isn't working. The public isn't distracted anymore. They're watching. Listening. Connecting dots that were never meant to be connected. Prince Andrew has become a liability no one wants to claim. Parliament doesn't want him. The palace doesn't want to touch him. The king keeps deflecting, but William, he's done. Completely done. The protection Andrew once enjoyed has evaporated, and everyone can feel it. Royal Lodge hangs in the balance. Titles mean nothing now. The question isn't if Andrew will be cut loose, it's how loudly it will happen. And yet, even as Andrew's world collapses, the shadow around Meghan Markle refuses to disappear, because the more Andrew Lownie digs, the wider the web becomes. This isn't just about one man's disgrace, it's about proximity, about access. About who stood close enough to hear things they weren't supposed to hear, about who moved effortlessly between circles that should never have overlapped. Meghan wasn't an outsider stumbling blindly into royal chaos. She wasn't naive. She wasn't unconnected. The evidence doesn't support that narrative anymore. She allegedly met Andrew in Toronto. She moved within his daughter's social world in New York. She attended events where Fergie was present long before the public was told they'd ever met. She traveled on private jets funded by billionaires whose names appear far too often near Epstein's orbit. And she was closest of all to Marcus Anderson, the man who quietly connects everyone in this story. Marcus never speaks publicly. He never explains. He never defends. He doesn't have to. His power is invisible, and invisible power is the most dangerous kind. He's the man who opens doors without being seen opening them, who introduces people without ever appearing in the photo, who knows where secrets lie and where they're buried. And Soho House remains the constant backdrop. Toronto, New York, London, the same private spaces, over and over again. Places designed for discretion, places where nothing is recorded, where no one asks questions, where powerful people feel safe. That's why this story matters. Because when Virginia Giuffre's lawyer wanted Meghan Markle deposed, it wasn't speculation. It was strategy. Lawyers don't gamble in cases like this. They don't waste time. If Meghan was on that list, it means someone believed she knew something relevant, something potentially explosive, something worth putting under oath. And that alone changes everything. Then there are the emails, the ones slowly dripping out of prison. Ghislaine Maxwell didn't keep them by accident. She kept them as leverage, insurance, a reminder that she wasn't alone. That if she went down, she wouldn't go quietly. And those emails have already proven that both Fergie and Andrew lied about their closeness to Epstein. And if they lied about that, what else did they lie about? How many meetings were forgotten? How many introductions were coincidental? How many connections were deliberately minimized? This is why the palace is nervous. Not because of what's already public, but because of what isn't. Because Andrew Lownie has made it clear he's nowhere near finished. 60 new pages, new sources, new political figures, people with power who have managed to stay untouched for years, people who assumed the silence would protect them forever. But silence doesn't work when too many people start talking at once. Former staff, insiders, witnesses, people who were once afraid are starting to realize the protection is gone. Andrew is no longer worth shielding, and when one shield falls, others fall, which leaves Meghan Markle in an impossible position. Because no matter how carefully crafted her image once was, the past doesn't disappear. It waits. It resurfaces when the timing is right. And right now, everything is resurfacing. The royal family wants distance. The media wants distraction. But the public wants answers. Why were these connections hidden? Why did Fergie lie about meeting Meghan? Why was Meghan moving so easily through elite spaces long before Harry? Why did billionaires fund her travel? Why did Marcus Anderson sit at the center of it all? And most importantly, what did Meghan know? Was she aware of the world she was entering? Was she a bystander or participant? Was she simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, or exactly where she needed to be? Because coincidences don't repeat themselves this many times. Not across continents, not across years, not across so many powerful people. The mainstream media still hesitates. They tiptoe. They soften language. They frame it as speculation. But the story keeps growing anyway. Email by email. Source by source. Leak by leak. And the more people look, the harder it becomes to ignore. Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew. Two names that should never share a sentence. Yet now they're bound by a trail of unanswered questions. And that trail isn't fading. It's getting louder. More revelations are coming. More emails will surface. More names will be pulled into the light. And when that happens, the carefully built narratives around the royal family, around Meghan, around Andrew, they may finally collapse under the weight of their own contradiction. Because the truth doesn't stay buried forever. It waits, and then it demands to be heard.